Right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Over. There we are. Brilliant. Right, we are back. I believe this is the right thing. Yes. How am I doing? I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing good. Excited to be back streaming properly, because I've got a few days, hopefully that should be good. Right, we're back in hell. I memory recode because I got the worst things ever. Yeah, I remember last time. I remember all the fun of, this fucker. Right. Honestly, they're fine. The problem is Big and Will Be Bad Wolf. Big and Will Be Bad Wolf is just annoying. Just, like, hellish. Just actually not fun to deal with. But yeah, we're back. Which one? I apparently do not know how to click on a box. Why are you very high versus... Oh, better temperance. I need to get back into the swing of things, chat. I'm, floundering, forgetting how to actually click buttons. Not you, you've already got the gift. Right. Thought you died from the chrome ruler? No, I did not. Thankfully, I did not. Also, he killed that guy. Chrome ruler is dead. Dead as a door now. The chrome ruler was dead to begin with. Christmas Carol's a good story. Should have shot there. Hold on. Busy playing Deep Woken? I have been playing Deep Woken, that is true. Because, surprisingly, when you don't have to engage in PvP combat, the game is actually pretty fun. Come on, line up. I hate clerk rights. Honestly, I am curious, would anyone be opposed to just, like, getting a mod that instantly kills all clerks? Because, like, I can do this every time, but when runs take hours, does anybody really want to go watch me kill everything one by one? Like, is that something people want to see? Because if so, then that's fine, but I feel it's sort of in a similar vein to getting the reset thing just so we can do stuff. Just making it so I don't have to do this at the start of every single run might be good. Obviously, if people would think that would count as a cheat, then yeah, no, we won't. But like, love is already out. Incredible. It's like it just takes so long. You have limited bullets. Yeah, that's true. But like... Thank you, so. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna... Hold on, if I look it up, I'm gonna look it up. See if Nexus Mods has a kill all clerks. Nexus Mods. Right. Lobotomy Corporation. Games, Lobotomy Corporation. Kill all clerks. Piece of shit, okay. This works. Yeah, I'm gonna pick this up, because this is gonna be miserable otherwise. Because I don't want to have to deal with clerks. Like, I understand it's part of the experience, but I don't want to have to deal with them. Okay, let's just quickly quit out, and I will quickly get that going. You've not missed much. I'm just deciding to get a kill all clerks mod, because I cannot be bothered. I want to... hold on. Where exactly is the browse local? How do I add to here? Hold on. Oh, add local mod. Here we are. Yeah, cool. Okay, this works. Take a bit to load, but hopefully... Oh. Always a good sign to see that menu pop up. Oh, that's not what I want over there. Right. Do you have a nice week/day? I have so far, yeah, I have so far. Then we get more bullets, I let 20 or so meet out with all the clerks on welfare. I think you gradually get them as time goes on, but I'm not sure how. Yeah, my day has been going pretty good. My day has been going pretty good. Let's see if this mod works. In theory, every clerk should be dead. This is, yeah. I did do a memory reset because we had Madness Among the Bodies, and I didn't want to deal with that. Okay. Wow, that feels really weird. You don't notice how much of the life of the facility depends on having clerks running around. That's really empty. Anyway, you can critique me because we still get the bonuses. If you really want to nitpick over, like... Okay, that's actually pretty good, but, like, if you want to nitpick over, like, 5 movement speed... Oh no, 5% extra growth rate. 5 whole attack speed. 1 increase to all stat... Yeah, no, like, if you want to complain about that, be my guest, but I will tell you to shut up. Because the amount of time and sanity that saves me is well worth a minor amount of that. Isn't the whole thing of the game just alliances like clerks? Yes, that's... normally would be fine. Consider the fact that none of us have ego gear. I can't just tank a breach. Which you can do in the normal game, which is the reason why it's not that annoying. Kills the red mist 3 seconds faster? You've got me there. I'm not sure what I'll do then. Also... I should probably put both of them up here so we have more time to react. Right, yes, my week has been going good. I've been watching a lot of Minecraft speedrunning lately. That's what I've been doing a lot of, just because it looks really interesting, and I wish I could get into it. I mean, I could very well get into it. The problem is I don't really know if anybody would care to watch that. As funny as it would be, I'm not sure how good content it would make. What, I thought you gave up? No, I'm just really spotty when it comes to actually doing this challenge. That's why. Because I always get sidetracked by other challenge runs I want to do. To respond is really a fact when you consider later on things. True. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? Okay, that's the reason why we don't work with them with anything. I guess it's black damage, isn't it? And black damage is quite multiplied. See, here I would now be getting really, really annoyed with the mod because then I'd have to go back and kill all the clerks. But I don't have to. I can just not work. Well, I mean, I can work with you because it's still not the gift. But, like... Yeah. Hoops, I'm sure a few of us will be there, even if you stream the most random things. That's true. That's true. There definitely will be people, even if I just randomly decide I actually want to be a Minecraft speedrunner. Yeah, no. I've been thinking lately, the growth of the channel is actually insane. Like, I'm over 7,500 subscribers now. Which is mad. I had to take a step back for a moment and realize, like, I'm actually a decently large YouTuber now. I used to watch people with fewer subscribers than this and thought they were, like, massive. Minecraft's always fun to watch? That's true. That's true. I mean, honestly, one of the major things I've been missing out on in, like, the Project Moon community is none of the content creators really, like, do anything together, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, there are collabs every once in a while, and, you know, there's Absolute Pride Resonance, which is definitely an event that the community does. But, like, other than that, some of us will DM each other occasionally. I mean, like, I've got some good runner YouTubers, like Foxes, Mr. Boomy. Like, I've been talking to them. But it's not so much like an organized thing. There's no, like, I've somehow forgotten what the event's called. What's the thing? You know the thing where they play minigame? The Minecraft thing where they play minigames? MCR. Is it MCR? Something? I'm not sure. Like, they've got a bunch of events. That's just one example, and there's like a metric ton more of them. And then, yeah. Aside remind me, Pink is also good. Basically, the EGOless makes even work with them a nightmare. Yeah, to work with them, we have to get portrait. That's why. We physically cannot afford to... Yeah, Minecraft Championship. Thank you. MCCR. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, no, if we get an ALEF, it's a real nightmare to ever try and work with them, which is the reason why we don't have them. Yeah, like, I would like to be out of the Project Moon niche. As much as I love making videos on Project Moon, I would like to just be able to go, I really like XYZ game. I'm gonna do a stupid challenge run on XYZ game. Any news on the Greg type Minecraft server thing with Project Moon YouTubers? Yeah, sadly not, no. There, like, some people wanted to do it, but there wasn't enough interest to make it, like, worth running. How much money would somebody need to throw at you for you to pick train / an ALEF? Yeah, 5 gifted. Depending... Hold on. There would be a price tag on different ones. If you want me to get, like, a White Knight, I don't know, 20 gifted. But, like, I could pick up, like, Censored or Man of Smiling Bodies. Those are decent. Those are probably 5 gifted. A train would be, like, 10. It's good if you have somebody on ticket duty. Yes, kind of. You know, I don't think I have to care about them. Like, they're annoying, sure, but... we don't take enough damage for them to really be an issue. And I guess the only thing I need to be careful of is making sure whenever somebody finishes work, we tell them to go home. Otherwise I could shoot them if there's like a bottom row lineup. Train is really good when you have ego gear. As you can guess, having ego gear is something we struggle with on account of the whole EGOless challenge thing. If there's like 3 people here, I'm gonna take the shot. Get out. Thank you. How do you plan on dealing with color fixes in the late game? Never, I don't know. Is it just me or the bottom right? Oh, they are a bit cut. Why are they cut like that? Huh. I don't know why they were like that. Good job picking up on that. Alright, this is a shot to take. Yeah. Where's the guy there? Taking damage in of itself is something you want to avoid, so healing isn't helpful as it would be. Yeah, no. Like, healing is very useful, don't get me wrong, but most damage is quite lethal, to the point where the best strategy is to not take damage at all. So the healing of Train is a little bit subpar. What's your strategy for abnormalities that can cause pale damage? That's my strategy. Could shoot a bullet across there. Yeah, I would do a Funga challenge run, but the problem is, thinking of anything novel to do with Funga, like, basically everything has been done with Funga already, to the point where if I wanted to do something novel, it probably wouldn't be too interesting as a challenge run. How's the Limbus Company Another Way video going? Oh, the Maxwell one. Maxwell style one. I've not been working on that for a while. Currently I'm working on the Burn video essay. The Burn video essay is what I'm doing the most at the moment, which is going along well. It's going along well. I do need to lock in a little bit, but I'll do that over the weekend. But yeah, that one's coming along quite nicely. Funga but chat tells me what to do. See, the thing is, Funga but chat tells me what to do. I could just do Library Ruiner but chat tells me what to do, and it would do infinitely better for my analytics and make editing time actually potentially pay back. Blame for Apollo for doing every challenge under the sun? Yeah. For Apollo really did leave absolutely nothing for anyone else to do. Who cares it's done, you have fun? That's true, but also it's just personally, if somebody's already... I like doing challenges that nobody has done before, because there's a genuine, is it even possible to do that factor to them? Whereas when I do challenges that I know have been done before, there's nothing interesting in it for me. Which is the reason why most challenge runs I do are entirely novel. It's the reason why I haven't done a Lobcorp solo yet. Even though I do kinda want to do a Lobcorp solo, but that has been done before. Albeit, I am the solo guy. So, you know, it is fitting for me to do a Lobcorp solo. Honestly, I don't think the Lobcorp solo would be very hard. I genuinely think the Lobcorp solo would be decently easy. Like, you just pick up White Knight, you then take no damage. After you take no damage, you can just work with whatever you like, and it's not really a problem. Like, the only person I can think that would actually be an issue there would be, like, Bina, because Bina heals... she has damage resistance based on the number of currently breaching abnormalities, from memory. Other than that, no issue. Tedious, maybe, but not problematic. You can do the S ending if you're hunger? Yeah, I plan on it. Slowly but surely, I do plan on it. Is Green Noon worth respecting? Yeah. Yeah, it'll kill me if I don't respect it, to be honest. I've gotten punished by that before. 100% means they couldn't pick up White Knight gear. Yeah. I mean, so was this. This is a 0 to 100% as well. But, like, it's just... You can just use Ego gear. And there's a lot of good Ego gear. I haven't used very much of it, but a lot of it is amazing. I genuinely do think Apocalypse Word isn't an issue if you can actually... Well, I guess... No, we could just kill Apocalypse Word in the exact same way, but because we have one nugget, it's no longer an issue. You just deal with the one nugget getting hypnotized by watching them permanently. Have yin and yang go. Bob's your uncle. Really can't think that would be too hard. Like, it would probably just be tedious, frankly. I think it would just be an exercise in tedium. That would about be it. Let's have you try that. Okay, and now we wait for somebody to come near us. I've seen White Knight done with just, like, Magic Bullet, so solo is definitely possible. Honestly, EGOless probably could be possible if I felt like American cheesing it. I have a friend who downloaded Termin without playing Fungo and he thought he could win the highest difficulty. He lost all of his fights. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's go kill this thing. They're gonna get back up before we can do anything, so let's wait here. Go down. Oh, they went to sleep right as they hit us. Okay, there we are. Wow, they are all congregated there. I love kiting enemies in this game. It's so funny. Added to the list of things I love. I do love when the audio not desyncs. The audio gets overwhelmed with the number of hit sounds and no longer plays normal audio. That is always funny. Do we have any missions at the moment? No, we're all good on missions. There we are. Right. I wonder how close that came to killing someone. No, everyone was fine from that. Wow, okay. Cleanup is going to be fun. Yeah, I am curious, like, if I could just make a video on something else, because I've tried just making videos on other things before. I mean, you can see the remnants of them. They didn't do so well on YouTube. But, like, just to see if the algorithm would ever just, you know, bless me. I understand that's not how it works, but, like, just wishful thinking for a moment. Guess what? What, Argalia? Okay, Argalia. Check Discord. Not yet. Oh, I thought you were still asleep. Okay, that's fine. Go stand here and heal. Wish the vids weren't lost media? Like, why did I open up my auto clerker? No clerks with bone. Yeah, that's the mod I'm running now. Thank you, though. It's, yeah, here. Wait. Oh, really? Did I not put the Poppy Playtime video here? Huh, I wonder what that is. It's not here anymore, so, you know. Great. So yeah, I could get them back again, but like, yeah, no, it is kind of demotivating to see something I put a ton of effort and time into, and it just gets like 10 whole views because YouTube hates trying new things. No, my favorite Crucible 4 video? Which one? Because the Ego Gear one, that isn't unlisted. There is an actual one there. Like, hold on, if I just pull up my YouTube again. The Poppy Playtime one, yeah, no, that is unlisted. I don't know where it is. It's here. It's just unlisted, and I never put another way to watch it on. But yeah, you can see this is one, this is the other. Here, this one got taken off because it was stupid. This one got taken off because I got death threats. I enjoyed this one, honestly. I did enjoy this video. I think I could edit it better now, but like I'm happy with this video. I like it. And then obviously Yomi Hustle video, love that. This is nearly at 100k. Wow. Where was the other one? Here. I'm so happy with this one. It didn't do at all how I wished it would have done, because like obviously it's a Secret of the Mimic video and I make Project Moon content. But like I'm so happy with how that video turned out, honestly. I'm really happy with that one. I think that's some good editing that I can be proud of. You had death threats for what video? The Drifter Ryoshi one. Also, this is day 36. You mean fucking death threats? This community is interesting sometimes. I mean, like, Welvader got death threats for the Soup Sinclair video, so, frankly, this community will just give death threats for anything they moderately dislike. Not everyone, obviously, though. There's a lot of good people. It's just, like, a vocal minority. The problem is, it's a very vocal minority that feels no shame in telling people to kill themselves. Truly, what a way to win an argument. Somebody says an opinion you don't like, tell them to kill themselves. Flawless play. Yeah, no, that was, quite something. That's why I took it off. Guess death threats over an opinion. Yeah, people are interesting. People are... And, like, death threats, people insulting the way I talk. Like, if somebody says an opinion you don't like, it doesn't mean you have to start saying they sound idiotic. Yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. Interesting gambit of if you hate a video, just start going after the creator, you know? What a way to handle your problems. Still, yeah, so that got unlisted. And then otherwise... Other videos, I mean, like... The starting videos I made on the channel got unlisted. I think they probably got deleted, to be honest, because they're probably not up. Like, hold on. Are you talking about the Daishu video? Yes. Yes, we are. Right, hold on, let me go back to my channel. Because I did unlist, like, the starting videos I did, because I just wanted a blank slate. Yeah, like... Here. Unlisted are my SS14 videos. What am I doing? They are lost to time. Nobody has the links to those. Nobody has the links to those, and I will not be giving anybody the links to those. What's Dayusha video about? I think she's a lazy copy of an already existing ally ID. For somebody who's supposed to be, like, a Drifter Ryoshu who has the look of the Night Drifter, she is literally a one-for-one copy of Lindayu. The only thing she shares is the name and look. She has, like, she could have been a really interesting mixed ID, and she's just Lindayu. She is just Lindayu. Like a one-for-one. If you don't, like, know the specific numbers of application count on her stuff, she's just Lindayu. She actually inflicts the same. Her skills are the exact same color and coin count. They clash the same rough... No, actually, she clashes worse. She's less consistent with her clashing and clashes lower. She's just Lindayu, design-wise. And I thought it was lazy, because it was coming off a season of where we had only had Heishiro slot. So we'd only had slot, and then they come out with the possibility of a cool ID, and it's just more slot. Like, it's just a one-for-one copy. People didn't like me calling a Project Moon's worst ID because it's the laziest ID they've got, so I got death threats. Such is life. You know, the community is interesting sometimes. I don't think any other community on the internet is, like, much better unless it's very niche. Like, my Discord. Great, cool. You guys are all lovely because you're a subset of a community that are actually nice people. Project Moon Community Hub. That's a... Ooh. I am there for work, and I have no other actually, I'm there for work and memes. Because some of you guys have interesting memes. I am not there for fun. Project manager's perfect immediate? Truly. KGH is the perfect manager, and nothing I could ever say will be valid criticism, because clearly he can do no wrong. I can't believe he actually went full fucking... He had a meltdown in the last stream over people telling him to do the quite reasonable thing of hire more staff. It's my damn company, I'll run it how I want to. Right, let's see. Will we get only A-lefts? Only A-lefts. That's... Fuck off. This is amazing. Yeah, I'll take that. I cannot check Steam messages. Shy looks great. How are we getting Shy Look on day 37, by the way? It's a little bit late for Teths. It's a little bit late for Teths. I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but like... right. Okay, first things first. You, come on. Get down there, piggy. Right. Get out of here. Let me get the members list up. We have, drumroll please. The Mahara avatar is cute, but the meltdown was not. Yeah, true. Run had a well cheers in that slot. That is amazing. Why have I been pinged? Okay. What is Forsaken Murderer doing? He's fine. Don't worry about him. He's fine. We used to have Grave of Cherry Blossoms in this slot, which was very funny. But, yeah. Okay. Here we are. Right. Turn your viewers into customers. No thank you, YouTube. Right. See your members. Filter by nugget tier. First things first, we have the... Do we have Quark Descartes yet? Are they in the facility or did they get wiped? Hold on, is Tony here? Quark Descartes is here. Is Tony the horse here? Tony is not here. So Tony, you're going here. Tony the horse. Let's just go one off all of these because we can get them back later. Tony the horse. And then we have the Green Deliverance. Tony is here. Oops. I made a moderate mistake, chat. Don't worry, I am sure one of them will die at some point. That tends to be how things go here. Right, and there's the Green Deliverance. Okay. Cool. Great. So you are just work with anything when the color turns right. Glad to see EGOless. Might pop in the archives when I sleep to don't encourage. I'd love to see more variety content build up on the channel. Peace and love. Thank you, Dadders. Honestly, what I want to do is, like, every so often just put in a random variety video that I want to make. It's just, yeah, balancing it with the algorithm and all that sort of stuff. But I'd love to make more variety content. There are so many games I want to play that I think would be... I think people on the channel would appreciate, even if YouTube themselves wouldn't. Deep Woken video? Oh god. Look, if I do a deep Woken video, I get to, you know, classify the Robux as a tax write-off. The funny thing about saying, oh, I can classify this as a tax write-off is, like, I don't make enough money to be taxed. You kidding me? I'd love to make enough money to be taxed. I don't. What taxes? What taxes am I writing off? Nothing. There's nothing to be written off. Become the new Deep Woken slop tuber? I have to say, I am surprised by the quality of deep... Like, hold on. I was watching this one video. Just to, like, figure out how to make a build. And let me just quickly get it up. Here. Why?
So I'll try to.
Why is this video so well edited?
I've played this game for quite a bit.
Like,
I've done pretty much everything I wanted to do in this game. I've gotten W ranked.
Like,
I've
this guy
beaten
has
some
fewer
pretty good people,
subscribers
I've
than
gotten
me.
my guild ranked, and with that being said, I believe I have the capability to show you how to make a build.
I can't edit
so,
like this.
Things like creating ideas, important talents to consider, and so much more. This video is
Seriously,
gonna be
like,
crazy in depth. So if you're ready to become proficient at Deep Woken's most fundamental aspect, let's get started.
why is he this good for how few subscribers he has?
First and foremost, if you're really new to this game,
it
you
makes
need
no
use the
sense
Deep
to
Woken
me.
filter for your builds, as much as possible. Planning out good builds in this game is going to be
It's
pretty much
so
impossible with
smooth.
this website, and it's easily the best tool you have. The second
Like-
best tool for making your builds is the Deep Woken Wiki.
Anyway, that's enough of that. I don't get it. I don't get it. How can somebody with that good editing be that small? Small YouTubers have editing superpowers that disappear when they reach the mainstream? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Honestly, I saw somebody was saying jokingly, which is honestly probably quite true, all of the, like, dedication and, you know, slowly building up your skills through torturing yourself, that's just what Deep Woken is. So they're just... The reason they're that good is just because they're really practiced at torturing themselves. Right. Clearly this means all the challenges will be paying off in my editing skills. You know, I would love to be able to edit better. Honestly, I would love to get an editor. I've said it before, and there are some people, like Salt. If Salt's still here, Salt's considering learning, which would be great. Yeah, no, I respect people who can edit really well. I myself, I don't know. Just goddamn Starbuck milk, it's incredible. Ask you for an editing guide. Incredible. Where would you put the Soup Sinclair rant? Where would you put the Soda Honglu rant? Hello, Mech Makia. Welcome. We can try that. The way Lobotomy is translated Limbus is done in a good way. I don't really think there's any substance to Lobotomy Ego Gear to be translated over, unless you mean, like, lore-wise. If you mean the actual gimmicks, the gimmicks are ruiner. Like, they don't want you to... Project Moon doesn't want you to know this, but every World Purchase is just ruiner World Purchase. It's just you have character ruiner while Purchase, or you have, like, Abno, ego stuff. Well, just not ego, just Abno while Purchase. Like, think about it. The entirety of the identity of Ryoshu here is literally just Netsack's pages. I think of Harmony in comparison to the Ego page for Harmony. Different niche. It's interesting. I like it. I think it's cool, but it's definitely different to the Ego page Harmony. See, Wasp tries to be based off it, but misses the entire point of Malkuth's page. The entire point of Malkuth's pages is to reward you for getting hit. It rewards you for getting hit, and it, like, she's the reward everyone else, reward myself and everyone around me for getting hit build. Which is the reason why Wasp Musou annoys me so much, because a Wasp build is the perfect setup for a tank build. And then they just gave us more damage slot. The world's first Lux merchant. Like, there were such good, interesting opportunities for things there, and they just didn't do it. Loyalty. I hate what they did to Loyalty. Look how they massacred my boy. Loyalty was such a cool page, and it's dead. There is no loyalty in Ba Sing Se. Just like, yes, something or other, when you kill somebody, more damage up. It's about getting hit, Project Moon. Why is loyalty pheromones just another damage conditional? Why is loyalty pheromones not, you know, like loyalty? But like, even the... Do you think some of the Roches, particularly something makes you go, this is how I imagine the Ego Gear working on LobCorp if they had a budget? No. I think the entire point of Ego Gear in this game is that it's simplistic to use. Nothing really changes when you switch Ego Gear, which is sort of the entire point. It's supposed to be plug and play. Didn't Loyalty give like 70 strength the Angela realization during the solo run? Yep. Absolutely. Reasons that library owner pages have no intended purpose in the first place, for PM cannot predict game design choices their choices. No. Loyalty is a page that on hit, for every 5 damage taken... Not on hit, sorry. Just for every 5 damage taken, you gain 1 strength up. The intended purpose is to get hit. Like, I get what you're saying. They don't have any meta strategies in mind. Like, they weren't thinking of Immortality Gebbera when they made Savage Claws. But, like, Laughing Powder is distinctly there to regain stagger. Like, it gains stagger on hit. Its intended purpose, sorry, is to regain stagger. Oh, I noticed, by the way, Musou isn't the first person to call Carmen Miss Sun. The first person to call Carmen Miss Sun is actually Oswald, during the 8 o'clock circus opener. Which is really interesting, I never knew that. Then would have assumed someone would combine the strongest Maya's prowess and Chained Wrath. The thing is... yeah, Chained Wrath. No, they never would have predicted that. Although they clearly know what they've done, considering at the very... Well, they can see what they've done because they actually watch people. Why does Harmony inflict burn bleed? Wouldn't sinking bleed make more sense? Well, no. Actually, Tremor would make the most sense, considering... let's get Tiferet database up. What it's based off of is, this. Hold on. Would it be... no, it would be Abnormality Pages. I'm assuming Abnormality Pages has Ego as well. Does this have Ego? No, it doesn't. I mean, it's based in part off of... Is there actually a... Because it's on you. It's based Stagger. Stagger and Strength. Rhythm was well done. They actually did do that. But then, like, if we go back to Ego Gear over here. Yes, Sword... Search. Oh, what it's based off is Harmony. Like, on each successful hit, a random ally takes 3 stagger damage against 1 strength. Wait, Is this the right thing I'm thinking of? What was I thinking of? I'm thinking of Angela's card. What the fuck? Sorry, no, it is actually a well done thing. Although, sorry, I was thinking of hold on. Where is it? Oh, ego 4 key. So where would it be? It's personal ego, maybe. I was thinking of this. Where is this? Oh, it's Forsaken Murderer. Ah, right. This is the... That's not... All this time I've been thinking that this was Harmony. Every time I've talked about Harmony, this has been the page in my mind. This is Forsaken Murderer. What am I doing? Yes, it's yeah, no, so it is actually quite a good kind of good redone of this. It is actually a faithful Harmony. My mistake. My mistake. It was good. It was good. Whoops. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, chat. I definitely play these. I definitely don't play these games for a living. You know, I'm totally not literally a professional. Definitely not. Who would ever say that? What are your thoughts on the Facade system? It's so funny. It's so funny. I don't like the fact that it costs stuff to make IDs, but it's hilarious, frankly. Like, if it was a free ID system, then it would no notes. But, it is very funny how buggy it is. It's so buggy, yeah, and that's why I love it. It's like vanilla Skyrim is boring. Nobody likes vanilla Skyrim. But people enjoy breaking the hell out of vanilla Skyrim. That's my sort of opinion on the Facade system. If the Facade system was just like an ID coloring thing, it'd be fine. Like, you'd probably have a few people talking about it, but the reason it's blowing up at the moment is because it's so buggy. Facade system, it's a Limbus Company's new update allows you to give any ID the look of another ID. You can put Pequod's saying on Rainsang to make lore accurate, protect the town. True, so true. Oh dear, as you can imagine, there's a funny one where if you get a Heathcliff one with like a ton of skills, the one I've seen a lot is Yo Heathcliff. If he's got the Wild Hunt thing, it constantly does the flash when he hits somebody, which is very funny. I personally love Solemn Lament you saying on Rainsang for like 7 mag dumps. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. I love that. That is very funny. Imagine on any idea with models S3 coincidence how she was moving during Canto 7. Yeah, actual pogoing. We get Hollow Knight gameplay out of any Manageddon's skin. Got KK Heathcliff on full stuff Heathcliff, he does greater split. Yeah, there's a ton of really funny combos. Like the, any sort of Maso one skill thing, he just punches somebody and they explode. It's great. It's so funny. Just endless entertainment from stuff like that. Euclid with Wild Hunt skin could kill an epileptic kid? Yeah. Those flashes are mad. I saw somebody who put a Jong Office Ishmael with a slot mail skin. So and they said it was Uptype 5 goes crazy. This is a responsible use of the... of the system. Okay. That nearly went wrong. Purpose Gregoron's Way. I've seen that, but I can't remember what it does. I saw if you have, also, once again, run Jung Ishmael with a Molar Ishmael skin. She just keeps flipping the screen. It's brilliant. It's so funny. It just, the screen does, like, loops. Hold on, I actually want to get that one, because that's quite funny. Here we are. Hold on, where is it? There's the seizure warning. Here we are. Spinny Kozan. Look at this. Reuse. The screen just keeps doing circles. I love it. What's going on, Lobcorp? We're just doing various things. Talking about the Facade system at the moment. What a... Oh. I love it so much. Like, it's a buggy mess, but it's my buggy mess, you know? My buggy. If they fixed it, I'd be sad. Frankly, it's just so funny. Yeah. Oh, round and round we go. Literally. I can think of no better way for it to have been implemented, frankly. This is it. This is the ideal. We've reached it. The base ID challenge, yeah. It's just a H-Show's team, but I put all the base IDs over the top. Make that the April 1st video. Actually, hold on. How far away is April 1st? I could do that. Hold on. That's an incredible April Fool's... That's an incredible April Fool's video. The base ID challenge. Oh, that's brilliant. Uh-oh. I fucked up. Hey, I think everybody died. You're not wrong. I was having too much fun, chat. My mistake. I forgot this is the base ego challenge. Fun is not allowed here. All that effort down the drain? Yeah, but now that I have the kill everyone clerk thing, it means that I don't have to spend a million years getting back to that point, which means it doesn't really affect me too much. Like, oh no, I have to sit around and yap about things I enjoy for longer. Whatever shall I do? Somebody is hypnotized, I think. No, we're fine. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yes, so I've been freshening up my knowledge on muscles recently, just because, like, they're interesting. And I think I'll talk about them for a bit, because I feel like most people don't actually understand how nerves. Well, I've been looking at both nerves and muscles. And I think most people don't know how they work, because the interesting thing about nerves is people think nerves are like electrical impulses, which is not true. nerves actually have nothing to do with electrical impulses. They are a difference in... They have a potential difference, but the potential difference in nerves is actually caused by movement perpendicular rather than horizontal to the nerve. So what basically happens is you have a nerve which becomes depolarized in some way, which is depolarization is the movement of... So normally it's sodium and potassium ions, right? And so there's more sodium and potassium ions outside of the nerve. Let's say this is outside of the nerve, this is inside of the nerve. There's a higher concentration of positive ions out here than in here. So there's a potential difference. It's about minus 70 millivolts in a resting potential cell. And then what happens is, one part of the cell, for whatever reason, becomes depolarized. One part of the nerve becomes depolarized. And what that does is, it starts pumping in more sodium and potassium ions into this part. So let's say this is the part that's depolarized. All starts pumping into here. And some of that actually spills. And gets over to here. Hold on. We don't care about that. Spills over to here. And what that causes is because this part is now depolarized, this part starts taking in stuff too. And they also then go on to spill, depolarizing this part. They move in, spill, and that is what causes nerve impulses. It's got nothing to do with current flowing, it's all about ions moving in and out of the cell. In and out of the nerve cells. So yeah. Quite fun. Ah yes, words. I promise it makes perfect sense. So then what happens when they get to muscles is that basically... Hold on, let me just... I need to think through my sentences, which is hard whilst working. When they reach cells, the depolarization causes the muscle cells to start taking in more sodium ions. The sodium ions bind to, I think it's actin? Because it binds to actin on the microfibers within your muscles. Because your muscles are basically a long list of different myosin and actin fibers which pull on each other. It binds to the actin, which then allows the myosin to bind to that and start pulling itself. And that's what causes a muscle response. Which is quite interesting. Reminds me of the Yantru solo. True. But I've rambled about science at other times than the Yantru solo. It's not just then. It's my second favorite torture session. How's it going? I accidentally forgot Purple Noon a little bit earlier. Other than that, everything's going great. That was the most memorable one. Yes, true. I am quite fond of the one I had when I was doing the Undertale Yellow genocide route without saving. It was a massive philosophy rant. Because anybody who's new to the channel probably doesn't know, I hate René Descartes. He's awful. None of his arguments work, but he's like, he's one of the most known philosophers despite the fact that he's shit. He's so bad. He's good at maths, don't get me wrong. But like, he's utter garbage. Utter garbage at philosophy. It's like, yeah, I think therefore I am. Shut up! Not how that works, and also, like just a philosophy rant, hell yeah. Okay, let me quickly deal with this and then we can get back to that. Let me allocate targets. Thoughts on Freud? Freud is really funny because Freud was so wrong that basically every guy who came after him looked at him and went, man, this guy's an idiot. I bet I could do better than him. Freud is like the whatchamacallit? Freud is like the not Pink Floyd. Is like the... What am I thinking of? Hold on. Sex Pistols. Freud is like the Sex Pistols of philosophy, which, ironically, is probably also a statement that would be analysed by Freud as having deeper meaning. It's everybody saw his work and thought it was so bad that there was no way that they could do worse, and they had to disprove it. It's amazing. Everybody hated him and his theories so much they're like, this guy's an idiot, I could do better. And that's where psychology comes from. Just a bunch of people thinking this guy's an idiot. I don't listen to music of the Sex Pistols bad. They're the main thing is they were not good at singing. They were terrible at singing. Which is the reason why everybody who saw the Sex Pistols and went to see them play live were like, damn, we don't need to be good at singing to do music. I could get into this, and then they went into this, which is the reason why the Sex Pistols are a major influence for basically every type of music, is just because a bunch of people saw their music and went, damn, we can make a band too, we sound far better than these guys. I don't think about Sex Pistols have they have a JoJo stand? Interesting. They're interesting. They're definitely interesting. Yeah, why have I been pinged? What have I been pinged by? Watching the stream, thank God there's other Descartes haters out there. That bastard pissed me off so much learning about him. Yeah, okay, back to Descartes. Back to Descartes. You've reminded me, thank you. You've reminded me of my hatred. The reason I hate Descartes is because, so, like, everybody knows I think therefore I am, right? It's one of the most famous pieces of deductive logic ever. The thing is, it's not deductive. It's not deductive. That's wrong. Descartes looks at that and goes, yes, this is a clear and distinct idea that can be grasped as one sentence. He goes, I think therefore I am. To split it up, to be charitable to him and go, his premise is I think, his conclusion is therefore I am. No, it's not a premise and conclusion. To him it is just, I think therefore I am. One sentence. It's nonsensical. What does he mean? It's not even right. He's genuinely, he drives me up the wall. And everybody quotes it. I think therefore I am. No! He's basically, his core thing is, I cannot be wrong about this. Therefore, I'm right. What? He pulls a, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. I know I am. No? Because the start of his argument, by the way, if you ever read the Meditations, it's so funny. Because the start of the Meditations is multiple pages of him talking to the guy he's writing to about how, like, every heathen will be struck dead instantly upon reading his logic, and any atheist will convert on the spot, because clearly any atheist is just pretending. And they will be struck so dumbfounded by the perfect hold on, I actually want to get... let me see if I've still got a copy of the Meditations. Just because I want to... hold on. If I look up the Meditations, this definitely... Meditations. I don't have to go pull out my old textbook. Here we are. Does this have the foreword? No, this doesn't have the foreword. Where is it? Hold on. Here we are. Here we are. It's very funny. Motive which induced me to present you this treatise is so excellent. When you become acquainted with its design, I am convinced you will have certain excellent motive for taking it under your protection that I feel I cannot do better. In order to render it in some acceptable to you, then in a few words to state what I owe myself to do. I have always considered that the two questions respecting God and the soul will achieve... By the way, just to say, in a philosophy exam in Britain, you need to not use any superfluous words, because you'll get marked down if you use superfluous words. Look at what Descartes' out here doing! You're telling me this has no superfluous words in it? Yeah, sure. Anyway, For although it is quite enough for us faithful ones to accept by means of faith the fact that the human soul does not perish with the body and that God exists, it certainly does not seem possible ever to persuade infidels of any religion. Indeed, we may also say of any moral virtue, unless to begin with we prove these two facts by means of natural reason. And inasmuch as often in this life, this guy yaps more than me. The vice and virtue. Few people would refer the right to the useful, where they are restrained neither by the fear of God nor the expectation of their life. As absolutely true, must believe there is a God, because we're taught on the Holy Scriptures, on the other hand, yap. I nevertheless cannot play its argument before infidels who might be curious of a reasoning in a circle. Yes, that's a tautology. I have faith because my faith is right. What do you mean? What do you mean? Anyway, let's go where we have it. Where is the part that he says... I'm trying to find the part where he says my logic is so good people would convert instantly. Where is it? Hold on. I can't remember where it is. It's so funny. I need to find the specific part, thing. God, where is it? Here we are. For the truth itself will easily call all men of mind and learning to subscribe to your judgment, and your authority will cause the atheists, who are usually more arrogant than learned or judicious, to rid themselves of their spirit of contradiction, or lead them possibly themselves to defend the reasonings which they find being received as demonstrations by all persons of consideration, lest they appear not to understand them. And finally, all others will easily yield to such a mass of evidence, and there shall be none who dares doubt the existence of God and the real and true distinction between the human soul and the body. It is now for your singular wisdom to judge of the importance of the establishment of such beliefs, you who see the disorders produced by the doubt of them. But it would not become me to say in more consideration of course in God and religion to those who have been... Yeah, shut up, Descartes. Shut up. Do they just make up shit on the spot? A lot of stuff they say is just nonsense. They start with anything that can be doubted. Anything that can be doubted is as bad as if it were false. Now, I can disprove that by example. I've got a proof by contradiction here. I have to regularly catch trains in Britain, right? Which means the train system is god-awful here. So I can't ever be sure if the train will be on time or late. I can never be confident, 100% perfectly confident that the train will be late. However, the train actually being late and my being unsure of whether or not the train will be late are two very different qualities. Because if the train's late, I'm going to miss the things I have lined up, I'm going to have to deal with a bunch of catch-up, there's a ton of different, like, scheduling things that'll be messed up by the fact that... Why did I just hear a slamming? Oh, we've got to send somebody else in there. A bunch of different things that'll get screwed up by the train being late. Compare that to simply being unsure with whether or not the train will be on time or not. Very, very different. Because that's just how I, always catch the train. I can never be sure if the train will be late or not. Therefore, they are very different already. So, off the bat, his arguments for doubting everything is stupid. But then he starts going through the logic of, like, you can't be sure of anything, because he goes through different waves, 3 different waves. He goes from illusion, which is basically, when you observe a pencil in water, say, it has the property of being bent. It looks like it has the property of being bent, but it isn't bent. Therefore, your brain is tricking you into seeing the bendiness that isn't there. You can get around that with relational properties, but that's not like for this. How the fuck? Who died where? How did they die? They should have had a 100% chance to win the duel. High foot. I sent a guy in with 3. I misremembered how they worked. Anyway, yeah. Argument illusion. Fine. Then he goes for the argument. He goes for the argument from dreaming, which is basically he goes that because I at this very moment have no way of knowing if I was dreaming or not, I cannot trust the judgment of my senses, as they could be deceiving me as they would be in a dream. The problem with Descartes' argument there is lucid dreaming exists, and there's a distinct way to be able to tell if you are dreaming or not that people do every night. It's like one of the most commonly talked about things in that vein. So that fails too. So both of his first two waves, utter garbage, don't really work. If you stop thinking about them, they work, but they don't hold up to scrutiny. Then you get to Evil Demon. Now, Evil Demon is a really funny argument because what he basically does is there could be an evil demon just whispering into my ear about everything so that they would convince me that 2 + 2 = 5 and that everything I see is true when it is in fact false. And this is actually a pretty good argument that I can't quite remember the counter-argument to at the moment. But this is what he then goes to, I can have the clear and distinct idea that I exist, and the devil cannot... The demon in my head cannot mislead me about this fact, as to contradict the fact that I exist would in of itself be a contradiction, and therefore would be absurd. What? Holy shit, he predicted Twitch chat. So true. A bunch of people whispering in my ear and telling me misinformation. He might have been onto something. He might have been onto something, actually. I hate Rojo's Basilisk. Rojo's Basilisk is so dumb. Like, yes, a perfectly good AI will torture people for no reason because they didn't help bring them about in the past. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why would a perfectly good AI torture people for things that will have no effect in the future? Huh? What? Are we alright? It's the reason why if you introduce Rojo's Basilisk to anybody who actually knows how logic works, they just look at you as if you're stupid. Because it's not a good argument. It makes no logical sense. It is designed more as a scare tactic than it is a real, genuine argument. I'd love if Shy Face could actually change. Let me quickly switch this. Okay, there we go. Really dealing with guilt paranoia. Like, welcome to philosophy. I mean, also welcome to psychology, but that's not what we're talking about at the moment. Think of a larper. That was a horrible accent behind that. Does Rojo want me to make the Basilisk? Yes! The idea of Rojo's Basilisk is that you're supposed to need to do everything you can to help bring it about, because if you don't help bring it about, you'll be tortured forever. No? It's like... I also heard the slamming again. No, I'm going schizo. Just hearing sound effects where there aren't any. It reminds me of, there's another one which is like, oh, you know, if we could perfectly make a simulation. If you could perfectly make a simulation of the world, then that perfect simulation could create other perfect simulations, and so on and so forth. So it would be, like, the likelihood of you being in a simulated universe is infinitely greater than not. The problem with that argument is it relies on there being... it relies on like, those perfect things already existing. It's sort of like there's an argument from the nature of God which says that, like, God is perfect. That's part of the definition of God, is that God is perfect. That is part of the philosophical definition of God. Therefore, would not think of two gods, one who exists and one who doesn't. would not the existing God be greater than the non-existent God? That's the argument. It doesn't work, because to say that... what you're saying when you say that is the quality... Also, that one's bad for another reason. But the idea that, oh, something must exist because its own existence entails itself. No. What we're talking about is, what qualities would that have if it were to exist? So to say, oh yeah, a perfect God must exist because a perfect God's existence entails it. No. Where have you gotten God from in the first place? It's catch-22. You need... If the perfect God existed, then the perfect God must... How did you die there? Fine. An existing cupcake tastes better than an imaginary one. No. Okay, there's a good argument here. So, let's imagine a, whatchamacallit? Let's imagine a lion. Now, think about for a second, think about this lion. Describe all the qualities you can think of about this lion. You know, it has a mane, it's angry, it's a carnivore, etc, etc, etc. We can add all these properties to tell us about the lion. It's got orange fur, you know, its favorite food is like steak from deers, like all this sort of stuff. Now let's tack on one more property. You've got this idea of this lion, right? You can imagine this lion. You can think about what this lion would be like. So then if we tack the extra property onto the lion of the lion exists, does that change your perception of the lion? Does that change anything about how you recognize that lion in your mind? Does the appearance, the personality, the actual substance of the lion, all the qualities you've described, does that change at all with the addition of the lion exists? No. Nothing at all changes. Nothing about the lion is added by saying the lion exists. Therefore, existence cannot be a property about something that is... It cannot be a descriptory quality. It cannot be... It just doesn't do that. And therefore, to make an argument that a perfect being must have the quality of existing, no. Because the quality of existing does not make something more or less perfect. It simply is a way of describing the state of something. It has nothing about existence. Could you give actually vibes? I wish I could dispute that. This is a perfect shoot. Could you get out of the way for me so I don't shoot you? Look at that. Max value. And then also shooting here is great. Look at the value we're getting out of those bullets. Hold on. And another. Yeah, who's left? Is it literally just these bugs? Because, I mean, I can just clear these out and then we don't have to worry about them anymore. Saying something is dead, describe it not. The lion is dead. But a dead lion has nothing to do with... Alive or dead is another quality. Existing and not existing is not dead or alive. You don't stop well, your body, the physical aspects of you, your personality... Well, your personality kind of does. No, none of the physical characteristics of you change whether or not, depending on whether or not you exist. Alive or dead, yes, but... I think I'm misconstruing the ontological argument? No, I'm not misconstruing it. These are just the natural follows-on. I don't want to whip out the... I've studied this, but I have studied this. I might be doing a bad job of explaining the arguments, but these are all valid counter-arguments that are generally accepted. Obviously, that's an appeal to appeal to authority, saying most philosophers believe this, therefore you should believe this. I understand that's not how it works. But, like, if an argument doesn't work, it is probably just because I'm explaining the argument bad, more so than anything, it's the argument itself. Mr. Streamer Nerdark. I hate to break it to you, but I have always been on my Nerdark. This entire channel is my Nerdark. Also, yeah, but, like, you're misconstruing the ontology. It's an a priori reasoning about God being the greatest conceivable thing. It logically follows that if it exists, it would be better than if it were not. That doesn't work. Because what you're saying, there's nothing that's great about... It's not a property. Existence and non-existence are not a property, therefore... something that exists and something that doesn't would not make it greater. It's not a property that determines greatness, existence or non-existence. Therefore, to say that a perfect being must exist because otherwise it would be worse just doesn't work. That's not how that works. Also, it's also not the only way you can argue for the incoherence of a definition of God, but I was explaining that one because I like it as an argument. I'm not going to get into the whole... every single argument I've studied about why the, like, definition of God is contradictory. Yeah. So much I don't want to say. I'm not like a Reddit atheist. The difference is I actually know what I'm talking about because I've studied these arguments. I'm not just saying, well, actually, I'm right because I've depicted you as the soy jack. Like, no, I genuinely do know what I'm talking about, but something you can make life just... The statement you can't make life from scratch annoys me to no end. There is no vitae. There is no life essence. They do not exist. All that there is compounds and elements. You know. If you can see something, biologically, you can make it. It might be hard to make. You need to know the mechanisms by which, you know, to make them. But yeah, there's nothing that stops you from turning rubber gloves into hot sauce. That's a perfectly reasonable... reasonable, debatable. It's a perfectly valid thing to be able to do, provided you know the chemicals inside something. You can synthesize a steak from base components if you want to. Which we have done. That's what cloning meat is. It's quite interesting, actually. Cloned chicken nuggets exist. They're not... I don't think they're very widespread because the actual cloning at the moment is really expensive. But that is something that does exist. You can have meat that has never come from an animal. If you argue with someone like a real heated argument and slap them to make them stop interrupting you, I am yet to slap somebody for interrupting me. Started shouting, yes. I'm yet to slap someone. Anyway, I hate Descartes. Awful philosopher. Only beaten out by, like, Berkeley. For mainstream idiotic philosophers. Just to say what Berkeley did. Berkeley is a guy who goes around saying, nothing exists but ideas. Huh? Ah, yes. Like, huh? What are you talking about? Thank you. Please explain. Because he basically goes that... Imagine a tree that is not being observed. You can't imagine a tree that's not being observed. Because you're observing... No! It's like saying... When you film something... Let's say it's a movie scene. Are you filming the camera filming the thing? No. No, you're not. So to say that it's impossible to imagine something not being observed because you yourself are observing... Shut up. No. The idea is interesting, but either it's badly explained or not elaborated on at all. The problem with it is all of his arguments are flawed. DMs? Okay, I will check DMs. The problem is all of his arguments are sort of like... He basically goes, it's impossible to consider... There are only two types of things, physical qualities and properties. Properties do not exist because they're just they're mind dependent, and then he goes, well, physical properties don't exist either, so therefore everything must be mind dependent, because we don't know that. Because if we were to not observe something, it would stop existing, and obviously things have to continue existing. He's not trying to suggest that things stop existing when we stop observing them. There must be a guarantor. And then from his guarantor, he goes to, there must be a god. There must be a mind outside of my mind. So basically he goes that, because everything is consistent, I have no control over it, I must not be the mind thinking the world. Because I can see and infer that there are other minds out there, I know that it is possible... No, he goes, because I can observe my own mind, I know it's possible for minds to exist. Therefore, the mind that controls everything, it has the active ability to change the stuff, must be God. They must be the guarantor. So he would go, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to see it, is it really there? He would go, no, God sees the tree fall. That's his argument. The problem is, because he uses God as a guarantor, he never really has any arguments for God themselves. So you end up with a God of the gaps, which just doesn't work out. Basically no object permanence. He argues that there is... he argues that there is object permanence. Can you have this image on stream? If not, I'm not going to put one atheist versus 20 gods, thank you. I will put the previous image on, hold on. This seems fitting for, given the conversation that's been going on. Not you. There we are. This feels fitting. That's not even the right image. Hold on, there we are. There. Just got here, how's it going? You've missed a lot of philosophical ramblings. I think the problem with a lot of one atheist versus 20 theist, or the inverse, is they're not real debates. It's more like a bunch of people going, I believe this. No, but you're wrong. There's not enough time to actually engage in reasonable, considered debate with actual conclusions. Especially because the core axioms that everybody works and operates on in religious debates are so different. It's very hard to ever actually come to a reasonable conclusion. Compared to, moral philosophy, where you can fairly decently persuade somebody in moral philosophy. There's just no way to do that there. Also, do you need black damage? I think you do. I need to be careful for the leap, because if they do the leap, we need to instantly run away. It's just sensationalism. Yeah, it is just sensationalism. And the biggest problem with videos like that is anybody watching the video can claim their side won. Which is also another problem. They're not doing it to learn from the discussion. They're doing it to win an argument. But there's nothing to win, really. A debate shouldn't be about who wins and loses. It should be about moving close towards the truth. Which actually reminds me that we need to kill them quickly. Oh no, I thought you were about to do the dash. There was a really interesting competition I went to in my secondary school. No, college. Where the idea of the competition wasn't to win. You had opponents. The idea was to get more points than your opponents. But you weren't debating against them in the traditional sense. Instead, you were trying to work with them to try and move close to the truth. So one side would put forward their beliefs on a state. So one of them was a morality in video games, of whether or not people should be judged as harshly as they are in real life for their actions in video games. And so they would give forward that. And then the opposition would see that, they'd make down a list of notes, and then during their time period they'd say what they liked about the argument, what they thought could be improved on, and then pose challenges. And then it was then back to the original team. The original team would go, thank you for your comments. We don't actually think that question works, but we think we've actually ruminated on this question, and we think that you've got a point, and then, change your own opinion. And then the judges would ask you questions about your final standpoint, and whether or not you hold by it, try and challenge it, stuff like that. And you get ranked based on how good you were at initially presenting your ideas, how good you were at posing questions, and then finally how good you were at responding to the judges and taking on any criticisms or advice from them. And honestly, it is one of the most fun competitions I have ever been in. Still, yeah. Because it was like a debate, but organized far nicer, to be honest. Sadly, we came second because I think in the end, the final round came down to 1 point, and that was that. We just didn't get a point from a particular judge because they didn't like our line of reasoning as much as another team, so marked us down a mark for it, and then we just lost. But still, very, very good fun. If any of you have the opportunity to participate in a competition like that, really do. It is really good fun. Anybody low on health? Other than the dead guy? Guerrilla anti-sweeper maneuvers. Yeah, this is probably the only time anybody has ever used swarm tactics against sweepers. Finally beat Lobcorp, really enjoyed the ending. Ah, nice. Nice. That's a really good achievement, honestly. Lobcorp is by no means an easy game. What pisses you off the most about arguing? It really annoys me when I'll have a good argument and somebody will just go, no, you're wrong. And then just not elaborate on it anymore. It's the reason why I really hate... Well, I enjoy arguing online, like, debating online. But it does just reach a point where you'll have something perfectly laid out, you've gone through everything, and then they'll just go, nuh-uh. Like, okay, I'm not sure what really to do in this situation anymore, because, like, the points you're bringing up, I've already said why they're, like, way off the mark, like, 10 hours ago. Just, yeah. That's what annoys me the most. I love Ayan as a character because he takes so many ideas that are usually seen as noble or morally good but skews them to absolutes, which I think is very fun. He's a really good character. Project Moon writes some really, really good characters. Other than, like, as of late. I don't know what they're cooking with Limbus Company, but it's eh. Why is it a wood chipper sound? I'm sure some people will be annoyed by my saying it, but I distinctly think the writing of Limbus Company is worse than Ruiners. And not just in a, like, oh, you know, give it some time. Can we get Freud in the... Sure. Thank you for the donation, by the way, Freud. Also, thank you, CBT. I forgot to thank you earlier. Let me get Freud.
Added $9.99 to the Lunacy Fund. Can we get Freud in the corner? Just for laughs.
I'm sure Freud would have something to say about being in the corner, but I'm not here to make jokes like that. WebP. I love WebP images. Making me having to get up an entire other thing just to convert them to actual, you know, usable non-schizophrenia images. There we are. Okay. Freud. Freud can go sit down in the angel with, sit down in the corner with the angel. I'm sure they'd have a lovely conversation. It had 9 cancels. Yeah, like, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Streetlight Office has more interesting writing and themes than some cantos. Unironically, can I move my woke angel? Damn. Freud's getting walked away from by an angel. We'll put the angel up there. Freud can stand in the corner. There we are. This man had an opinion so bad, even the angels walked away from him. You know, Street Light Office, incredibly well written, so much detail, sets up the bone track perfectly. And then you look at, like, I don't know, Canto 9 Part 1 and 2. It's like, oh, wow. Right. Canto 9 Part 3 even. I mean, I like Hypernora as much as the next guy, but, like, where are the character themes, Project Moon? Where's the interesting stuff? Like, Ryoshu's such a cool character. Who gets outscaled in her own thing. Not outscaled, gets outshone in her own thing. So yeah, cool. I love Gregor. Gregor's great. Gregor deserves the upscale, but like, damn, she gets no focus even in her own thing. Do you know who Sans mother is? You mean Mars? We don't know who Mars's mother is now. I hate Sora. I hate Sora. You can go back and watch the VOD. I laughed when we got to Concept Incinerator, Sora. You could probably go back and find the clip. I am unironically laughing at the fact that we get the ability to wipe her from existence. It's hilarious. I also do love the fact that Hong Lu, after his entire canto about resolving to act more, gets no lines. He has more lines in the recent Walpurgis than he does in the entirety of Canto 9. The entirety of Canto 9. In the entirety of Canto 9, he has 2 lines. In this Walpurgis, he has, like, 6. I think he genuinely has multiple times more lines in the Walpurgis than he did in the genuine story canto. Canto felt rushed? Yeah, it really did. He has over 10? No, he doesn't. I assure you, he has, like, to be honest, he has 3. One of which is his ego usage. In Canto 9, he has 3. I mean, if you have more, then, like, I'm curious to see him, but, because I only remember seeing 3. Like, yeah, his ego, amazing, really helpful, it's, like, really did good for the fight. Doesn't talk at all, otherwise. Yeah, honestly, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think part 1 and 2 should have been an intervallo. I think part 1 and 2 should have been an intervallo. And then I think we should have gotten part 3 expanded on to, you know, actually give enough time for every character to shine as the canto. I was fine with part 1. I unironically thought that it was going to become an unwinnable... He has 12 lines in part 1? Oh, wow. Interesting. My mistake, then. He actually has more than 3 lines. It's just stream pop-up on my homepage. The other challenges are bad, but are you okay? I'm perfectly fine. It's only day 36. But so what I thought was going to happen was I thought the canto was getting into a point where everyone was going to be dead. It was going to be utterly unwinnable. And, you know, all that sort of stuff. And then it would be okay, we have to run it back to the start and do it all again, but knowing what we're doing. But no. No, it was just resolved like that. We need to have the Arknights collab. I hate the Arknights collab. I hate the Arknights collab so much. Who died, by the way? We can just put another member in the place. Okay, Yin and Yang are good. And also open up the opportunity for some funny strats. Yeah, let's pick Yin. Yin is a confirmed Yang. if you think about it like that, I think they're far better. Debating putting them in the record team. The only reason I wouldn't put them in the record team is because if we put them in Bina's team, we get an upgrade. Who the fuck is that in the corner? That's Sigmund Freud. Don't worry about him. You know, like the fear of a duck watching you from the corner? It's like that, but Sigmund Freud. The only reason I don't want to put Yin here is because we get a confirmed Yang next. And honestly, can we upgrade this twice? I'm gonna put it here. Because we have how many times left until memory repo? We can afford to put another one in there because then we put 1, 2 in there. And then 1 in there. Yeah, because we've got 1, 2, 3, I think. Because we had 2 stuff. We had this, we're on this day. We've got 3 days left. 1, 2, 3. Gets... Yeah, no, that's what we do. Because we go 1 with this day, 2 with this day, 3, and then I think we alternate. I think that works perfectly fine, because 1 more here will get us up to 2. We then put 2 more into you, gets us up to there. There, yeah, cool. Yeah, I think you and Esku would get along with the fact that you both didn't like the collab. Yeah, I didn't know it. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I don't think anybody reasonably should like the collabs. I don't get people who enjoy the stuff. Doesn't Yang only appear when you get your next tool? Oh no, this is the tool. Because Yang is a whatchamacallit? Yang is a normal Abno. So Yang is force spawned after you get Yin. From memory, at least. People glazed the fuck out of the collab. The gimmick all the goofballs had was ass too. I like the collab. I've been playing Arc Knights for 3 years beforehand. See, that makes sense. I think if you know Arc Knights, it might be more interesting. But it was Canto 3 writing for the Sinners. They were just saying buzzwords. Like, the last night was good. I will say, the last night was cool. Everyone else, hit or miss. The last night was cool though. Filter, current level, librarian. Do we have Zeol here? Argalia Jr. Do we have Argalia Jr. in here? No, welcome to the Argalia Jr. We need that, but they'll be training that. As Sentinel itself, I was personally made a major hater. I think Mayers is the worst boss fight I've seen in a very long time. Let's check Discord. Sure thing. He has a rant about it. Wow. Hold on. That's never mind. But I am curious to see what he has to say here. I'm curious to see how much I agree with or not. Great art, by the way. That's an amazing thumbnail. Sums up how I feel about Mayers. I'm not sure. Oh.
Am I allowed to elaborate my thoughts on the song? It's a really good song.
It's really great animation.
But like,
amazing.
My thoughts on the song coincide with the thoughts of the character. It's a good song. That's my fucking point. That's it. It's okay, I need to elaborate quickly before people can shut me up. Maris is fucking boring. You people glaze the fuck out of this stupid character.
He's true.
Shows up. I don't know why I said that.
He's true.
He's a misogynist. That's not what I meant. People act like Maris is the best thing to happen to this game, and that's not the fucking case.
He's true.
Maris
He's
is
so
a
true.
boring character.
He's so true.
To be fucking deleted from the game. People act
He's
like
so true.
Is this big deal? Okay, I'm still going. Don't you worry. I'm keeping it up. I think that Mares is so unbelievably overhyped.
He's
she
so
follows
true.
the most generic arc possible. She helps us out. She like betrays her cult, but it's so predictable because she gains rapport with us initially when she talks with Don Quixote. Like, Is there anything interesting about that arc? Knights? Like, actually, what is intriguing about Mare's character that isn't a predictable plot point? She gave us Merceau crumbs. No, she fucking did it! Merceau did it! Merceau gave us Merceau crumbs. We got Merceau crumbs in a limited time intervallo. The intervallo is gone. New players don't get that kind of elaboration. You have to look that shit up on YouTube to fully understand Merceau's Kanto. That's fucking stupid. That doesn't make any sense. Why are we getting lore drops in an optional intervallo that disappears a month later?
It is bad.
That's so dumb. This guy's talking about how he's seeing the sunlight.
Yeah, more of the sun than
we're
it's
getting
warm.
Mare's glaze over that? That's Merceau being fucking goated. And yet he's held back by the bourgeoisie up there telling us that we can't have our Arc Knights event. It has to go away. Because we have to have our characters that have their thighs out on our screen and they're copyrighted.
He's not wrong.
And the whole time I'm just like, who are these people? Am I supposed to care? And you know what? The end of the interval tells me I don't have to care. So
Can we please just leave on your hand?
But I have to care because there's real shit in that intervallo. Like we're so talking about the sun. So what am I supposed to think, huh? Who's with me?
Yeah, no, he's right. He's right. The thing he hasn't mentioned that I need to mention is Maya's makes no sense. She makes no sense. Ah, yes, I'm going to manifest on my ideals. No, you're not. Distort. My bad, I'm gonna distort. What do you mean? What do you mean? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You're not... Not how the system works. Not how the he's not done. He's not done. Hold on. Sorry. He has more to say. Blank screen. Hold on, what more does he have to say?
People act like Mares is the best character ever only because she distorted. If she showed up and did nothing else... Or sorry, let me elaborate.
Jesus fucking Christ, how the fuck are you still going? Oh my god.
No, you don't understand. He's so true. Keep preaching. Maya's is fucking useless. She doesn't fit with the story. She folds under zero pressure. She has no value. Makes no sense. The only thing that could make me hate her more is if they took her character and gave her Shin and Mang. Now I wonder which character gets Shin and Mang and also gets Ego in a way that makes no sense. Dear Lord, it's the person we delete. Let me pull up. I want to pull up the stream now, actually. I want to pull up the part where we delete her because I genuinely laugh like a madman. Where is it? Here we are. 6-hour stream, by the way. You can see me lose my mind. Get out of here, music. Right. Hello, chat. We are here. This will be... Oh, this is... You can see the part where I start laughing about Rain because he's a stupid boss. I'm so done. Where is it? Hold on. Is this the part where we delete them from existence just yet? No. We can do this, and then what are you clashing with? We could clash with... I think it's... Peak. You can see at this part I'm still somewhat having fun with the Kanto, by the way. Tied with Kanto. What is my... See, here's the point. I see why this Kanto is controversial. So you can see that that's the part where I'm saying I like a Kanto, by the way. Wait until after. The fact that we have one more boss fight to go and there's an hour and a half left in the stream should tell you what I feel about Rain. Why not? Come on. Hurry up, me. I wanna see my reaction to deleting Sora. Mr. Streamer react slop? No. That's fine if I can. Hold on. I need to... Hey. Come on. She just deleted them. Okay. I swear I laugh maniacally here. She is... Hold on, no, you can't be pulling things up on the stream that I've already pulled things up on. Stop that. I'm not going to be playing that. What's going on here? Spec stacks. I don't like that. She really is just cutting them away from existence. Is it bad to be laughing at my own jokes? That's a joke cool I made in the past. Can I laugh at that? I can laugh at that. I'm allowed to. Oh. It's cut. Wait. Here's the point where... Hold on. I just realized I'm in the way. That's what the purple... The purple thing is actually cutting away this. It's not just cutting away the coins. It's cutting away the skills themselves. Oh god, it's peak. Here we are. Okay. This guy doesn't know what's going on. I didn't know that. I was unfamiliar with your game, Rosh. Laugh at his low pixel count, chat. Holy. Them two, down there. Laugh at them. They've got a low pixel count too. Right then. That's a little bit powerful. Read what? Yeah. Why am I so pixelated? The ultimate counter to reading. What am I supposed to read now, chat? There's nothing there. Oh, no way I reference. When's the part where it... Stop it. Please don't do that much damage. Yeah, no, that's fine. He's doing yes on Core Suppressions? So true. Hey, look, he's gained some pixels back now. Oh, Maso just can't die. Okay. Oh. You just keep clashing until you actually erase them. Oh. Oh, I see. You're actually just... Oh, okay. I see. Freud live reaction. Okay, then. Run. Run now. Run now. Okay, this will be it, then. This will be where I start laughing. Is that? Yeah, true. Finally, the world's most obvious spoiler has disappeared. You can already see I don't like her. I provided your coins. 99 bleed. Just the icing on the cake there. Right. This really has been the power scaling, Kanto. Holy... Oh, okay! Right. Do I really not laugh? Didn't tell me to die. Yeah, Maso just stuck about. I could have sworn I laughed more at her. I do want being erased. Getting rid of anything is quite... Maybe it's probably just... I think it is probably just the rain part. You can see I begin to lose my mind because I hate Ryan. I hate Ryan so much. I take it back. This is not... Why does this Kanto have to be like this? I want to enjoy it so badly, but the Kanto doesn't want me to enjoy it. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, you can tell by the fact that there's an hour and a half left in the stream from there. You can get the idea of what Past Me was upset about. It's waiting in the background? Yes. I love Waiting. Waiting's such a good song. I think you're overreacting. I hate Rhine. Rhine is a terribly designed boss with no interesting counterplay that makes me want to stop playing Limbus. Thank you. Was that muted? Yes. It was muted due to playing Millie music. Because Millie music is muted despite the fact that it's included by Project Moon in their own games. We don't get to use it. You either mute up or you listen to it and mute your stream afterwards. You're very upset that Rhyme was so easy. Rhyme was not easy. Rhyme didn't require any thinking for me. It was just clash, keep clashing, and then at some point I just died. That was my Rhine experience. And the problem is his gimmick kills you so slowly that if you ignore it, you'll just be fine until a certain point when there's nothing you can do anymore. My enjoyment of the Kanto went up and up and up. Like, it was awful. Down in the dumps for most of the Kanto. We hit the Sinclair reveal. Suddenly up. Spikes up. Kanto 9 stocks through the roof. Amazing. Thank you. No questions. Then we hit Ryan and I hate everything. Rain saw a maze in a room with you. You have a revolver and 2 bullets. Can I line them up and shoot all of them at once? Because otherwise, like, okay... Sora and Meyers are the two worst written characters in the game. Rain is actually interesting. The problem is that Rain's existence ruins the index. Rain's very existence ruins the index. So, like, if I shoot him, will he cease to have ever existed? If I shoot Rain, does he cease to ever have existed? Because if he ceases to ever have existed, I'll shoot Rain. I have to shoot Rain. But, like, otherwise... otherwise, I can't kill Rain. Rain's damage is already done. I have to kill Sora and Meyers. Sora and Meyers are deserving of death. If Rain mimicked Yan or something, that'd be interesting and plausible. The main problem with Rain for me is that the mimicry itself means that the prescripts must have some sort of will behind them. The most annoying thing that Rain does is it means that the will of the city is a real thing that somehow knows about alternate mirror worlds and has the ability to give instructions. It's so bad. I hate it so much because it turns such an interesting faction into meh. It's not good. It's just not good. Also, by the way, how pixelated am I on these streams? Just to see, like, do I have decent amount of quality? Because, like, on my actual OBS, don't mind the fact that you can see that I have decently high quality. Do I not have that high quality when I actually stream? Because if so, I can change it. Like, hold on. Streaming. You look fine? Seems fine to me? Okay, cool. Great. I hope Maso's Kanto is good. I'm looking forward to Maso's Kanto because I don't know how they're going to do it. Because Maso appears to be written as if he's already gone through the events of his game. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do with that. They butchered actually decent library writing to dumb it down and make it digestible slop story for no reason at all, and there was zero need or desire from anyone to do this, yeah. No, they really did just, under no pressure, ruin interesting writing. Just, you know, for a laugh. Just for a laugh. This is how you look for me? Okay, no, that's decent. That's decent. I know KGH likes Maso, so they should do the source material some justice. I'm just curious to see how let's retry. See how it comes out. DMs? Okay, hold on. Let me see. Somehow incredible. I feel like, if you'd permit me, I feel like Project Moon saw the reception of the last night and thought, man, everybody loved the fact that you had to choose whether or not to clash. And, you know, you can't always clash everything. We should make something that forces you not to clash, and it just means they miss the entire point. Like, tell me, if anybody knows, if anybody has any idea, what is the Ring Apprentice fight? The Ring and Pinky Apprentice fight. What is that? Why does the Ring Apprentice just pull out a skill that does nothing? Like, really? Just, yeah. Just not, like, you just click all defensive. There's no interesting thought. It is literally just, don't attack for a turn. Are you win rate it? It is genuinely, it's the equivalent of, like, if you're watching Netflix and the "Are you still watching" pops up. You thought the duo ring fight? Not the duo ring fight. Not the duo ring fight. I'm talking the ring and pinky. Ring and pinky fight. The ring and pinky fight. The ring and pinky fight was, in my mind, their way to show, oh, they're holding back. They're distinctly not fighting at full strength, which means that when we have to go up against them at full strength, they'll actually use their, you know, gimmicks, interestingly done, and we'll have to, like, you know, properly balance them, actually dealing damage, choosing whether or not to clash, like that sort of stuff. I thought it was going to be really cool and well done, and then it just never showed up again. I'm having some trouble with Bean. Do you have any tips? Do you have backwards clock? Backwards clock, I know, is the classic way to deal with Bina, because she gains resistances based on the number of currently melting down places. So if you don't want to split out everyone across the place to work with the stuff that's melting down, you can get backwards clock and instantly revert everything. That's, yeah, that would be my advice. Right now, Bina's fight doesn't last long enough for Bina's gimmick to work properly. By the time Thorn's damage comes with concern, the fight's already over. Yeah. It's an interesting idea, but just not executed well. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people say they don't like Roach Gregor. I think Roach Gregor is an interesting fight. Because it's the first time we've had an ad that can actually suffer. Because it's a great line from Vigilius. It's like, damn, the bug is laying traps. That's so cool. What do you mean you have to actually, like, take a hit from him to prevent him from getting hit? That's amazing. Why can't we have more like that? And then the rest of it's just wait until the conditionals activate. Wait until everything else does. Just keep pressing win rate. Huh, he adapted. Yeah, there it is. Like, I like a certain Sinclair. I think he's cool. I may be biased because he's, you know... I mean, look at him. You can't critique me for liking him. Have you looked at him? I think people who critique him haven't looked at us. Anyway, and then the other part of the fact that he gives us World War II references. I love that. Thank you. It has always been a long-standing theory of mine that the Smoke Wars were meant to represent the two world wars. And I'm so happy that I was right. Which is why I really like Sutton Sinclair for doing that, but... yeah. I do think that was the turning point for the Kanto for me. That was the point where I started to enjoy it. I thought that was interesting. I think... Honenheim, I know that's not how you pronounce his name, but I've tried pronouncing it properly and it just doesn't stick, so I'm going to continue to call him Honenheim. He should have manifested there. I stand by the fact that it would have been a more interesting resolution if he manifested there. I can get you some Sudden Sinclair art after the stream. That is an interesting and very ominous proposal there. I think I know why we're getting a second Smoke War. Yeah, well, we do actually... I think it times up to Otis's Kanto, right? Going by the timings, Otis's Kanto is when the second Smoke War will begin. Oh, I saw a great, Ryan meme, which was, it was, games companies when they start running out of money. Sunset... why didn't you just kill me? I was getting to that part. That is brilliant. I love that. Anyway, let me look for the meme. It was... where is it? Oh, it's also the, restaurants when they aren't earning enough money. It's the Roblox joke. Roblox games when they aren't making enough money. But, yeah, the... restaurants when they aren't making enough money. Great. I do find it funny though, because like people who knew data mined information were saying, oh, it's going to be like a Phantom of the Opera reference. It's going to be you know, whilst everyone else was just joking of, no, trust, it's going to be Roland. It's going to be Roland, trust. And then we actually got the Canto, and it was unironically just Roland. He's a good character, but it's all wrapped in shitty, shiny packaging for no plot relevance. All he could have been just as easily been a clone of anyone else, even a new character. Yeah, having him be a clone of anyone else would have been more interesting than just literal Roland Larper. I know a single person who believed the Phantom of the Opera thing. So do I. They were very vocal about their opinion. Homies, I don't want to laugh anymore. Hello, Piggy, welcome. New offensive character strikes all from how shitty part 1 and 2 writing is. Jingle Jingle, it's the Black Silence, guys. It's that one, Markiplier thing. Or, Lobcorp for Limbus Onlys. Hold on, it's... Let me pull it up. Lobotomy Corporation for Limbus Onlys. That's not how you spell... Where is it? Here we go. It's this one. I love this video.
So.
The Datamine Spreads later had a Furioso made out of it. Yeah, and people thought it was just like a funny thing that you could do.
So, back in the day, back in the day, before
Limbus Company
were a thing, okay? Jingle, jingle, pay attention. Pay attention. I said your favorite word.
Limbus Company.
Okay.
Limbus Company.
Dingle, dangle, dingle, dangle. Okay, before that was a thing, the concept of a place with endless impossible... Oh, dingle, dangle, dingle, 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 dangle. It's okay, look at...
이상이라고 하오.
Before
Limbus Company
were the thing, the impossible endless was all what
Lobotomy Corporation
he was about. Okay, that's what it was about. You know, you know, you love endless. That's what this is. That's what this is. Except it's jingle jangle jingle jangle. It's
I love that video. The only reason I like the fact that these Rollins, because it makes sense why the Will of the City would make up the fact that someone else is scared. So I hate the Will of the City. I hate the Will of the City. I don't... The most interesting thing about the Will of the City was the fact that they may or may not have existed. The entire interesting thing about the Index was the fact that it was an exploration into why blind faith was a bad thing. About the fact that just because something gives you orders and you've seen things lined up doesn't mean that, you know, that it is necessarily a real thing. And then you look inside, and then the Will of the City is real. So, okay, well, I guess that entire left side track in Ruiner was actually just meaningless, because, you know, fuck you. Like, yeah. It just, I dislike it so much, because it turns arguably one of the most interestingly written points and the entire left side track in Ruiner to just... Nah, he was a dumbass. Want to hear my crack theory? I am curious to see what your crack theory is. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, what I'm going to do, by the way, chat, is, just so we don't have a repeat of last time, I'm going to quickly move everyone to, like, the sides. Just so we don't have a repeat of last time. I am going to learn from my mistakes. I'm going to grow and improve as a Project Moonrunner. Great, okay. And then we can just work with Spider-Bud. Now, how everyone got ejected in the forms they were in when the library ended? Yeah. Yeah. Get this? Jan is Hermes. Hold on. Hold on. It doesn't line up with the timeline, but you might be cooking. Like, it doesn't line up because for him to have gotten the wife and everything doesn't really make sense. But like actually having Yan be Hermes, somebody who goes mad with the idea that there are no prescripts and so decides to make prescripts himself. That's really interesting, actually. I like that as a theory. Also, Silvo, you are here. You're right here. Remy kicked out because he's following a fake god being Hermes, which is completely random, which is kind of possible. Yeah. Like, that's really cool. I like that as a theory. It doesn't line up, so it is just pure crack theory. But I really like that. That's quite cool. That's you've cooked well. Stand proud. You've cooked a gourmet meal with that one. Sent me a funny gif. Okay. This was made when the data mines came out. Somebody unironically made a Furiosa. That's great. They knew. They knew. Okay. I hope that's the case. Because honestly, that would be a really, really cool way to salvage the index. Still distorted after returning from the light? Well, we've seen what happens to distortions who do return from the light, right? Distortions that return from the light end up getting distorted further. That's what happened to the ensemble. I don't know why they're called the distorted ensemble. They were the distorted ensemble before going in. They just become double distorted. But like, yeah, it's totally plausible to presume that Yan's form would have continually, you know, gotten worse. They get enlightened? Calling it enlightenment is debatable, but it's because the proximity to Carmen seems to do something to them. Argalia wasn't distorted. That's true. Argalia wasn't distorted. He ends up distorted, but yeah. Since the heart's journey towards yourself is never-ending, distorting has no end. I've not heard about that one. The one I've heard about is Jung. It's all based on Jungian psychology. Which is the works of Carl Jung. Carl Jung? Is it Carl Jung? Maybe not Carl Jung. It's all about the shadow and either accepting or rejecting the shadow. Accepting the shadow is distortion. Rejecting the shadow is manifestation. Or acceptance and melding with the shadow is manifestation. Where on earth are you lot? Yeah, you lot get in here. Don's up there mentioned Rensing being the proxy of three-lettered name who is neither a person nor distortion, so it could have been a semi-distortion like the ensemble. That would be interesting. Know how it would have affected Yan when all I really knew was would invalidate Yan. Now that I have played through Yan, we're still stuck at the fight. Oh, you're stuck. Good luck with Yan, honestly. He was one of the hardest fights solo. I think Volatile Ego might be a mix between the two. Volatile Ego is when you're still unsure of, like, your actions. You're still unsure about rejecting the shadow, about how to move forward. You're wanting to commit to what you're doing. You have the right idea about melding with the shadow, but giving in is still a possibility. Well, because they believe distortion will make them win and they lost, but they still believe they'll win? Could be. His numbers scare me, and suddenly that Zhao left and started the city. Yeah. Zhao is quite good for dealing with him from memory, because you can then mass attack. And mass attacks are quite good. Especially considering it's the fight where you have to kill the hands and then him. What if Hermes is an abnormality? Could be. Could be. The distorted them is actually ego ensemble because they were all distorted. Their perception of self was wildly fucked up and skewed. That is interesting, but doesn't really work. No, because they're physically changed. That is quite interesting, though. That is quite interesting. I am curious to see what'll happen when we end up seeing Zhao, honestly. I am curious. What would have made Canto 9 meta? Make Canto 9 Part 1 and 2 an intervallo? Cut Sora from existence, kill her. Kill her. Delete her from reality. And just generally add more time. What are those pictures? People can donate money, because I like money. It helps me eat good food. And people donated to have one of the enemies from Fraud and Sigma Freud on the screen. That's about all the context there is to know there. I mean, the problem with the Yan theory, though, is you'd be laughing since Roland was 8. Yeah, that's the one theory. Sora's in the intervallo, we see her awaken ego by following a prescript at the end of the intervallo. The problem is caring about Sora's character is entirely built on the idea that she'll mislead you, but she is the most obvious spoiler in the world, for one, and second of all, the ID we got at the time flat out spoils who she is. Freud equals fraud? No, Freudom just wanted, Freud on the screen. I'm fairly certain Zhao wanted to retire. She quits her job to go into the library, so... Yeah. I think the worst cop-out she can do is if... KGH, not she. KGH could do is if they're split up, because I know Project Moon hates love stories, but, like, if they got out of the library, unless they just couldn't find each other, it makes no sense that they'd be separated. We come up. The only reason they would be apart is if they just flat out couldn't find each other. Just hit me how strange the plot point about Ryoshi being able to sense time differently. Yeah, that really does just come out of nowhere. Well, the Purple Tear killed Lowell immediately to rope her into this, like how she did with Vigilius. The Purple Tear didn't cause anything to rope him in. The Purple Tear just got let out at the same time as Lovetown. The Purple Tear didn't orchestrate any of that, they were just there. That's the reason why they run away immediately, because they're like, I've done nothing wrong. I know you're angry with me, but I am just here. The thing I like, I've seen a theory about it, which is the fact that, the fact that we actually kept most of Philip still booked, because we have it's all bar one of the children escapes, and you can see in the final ensemble fight, he's talking about his memory still being gone. The thing that I've seen that would be really interesting to see is Philip coming back and then undistorting. That, I think, if they do it well, that could be an interesting one. Because I am actually making a video essay on the burn track currently, and it's unironically, I think it is the best written part of Rona, as in, the best individual thread is the burn track, in my opinion. Oh, we're gonna unlock there here. Okay, cool. Should win shit going on in time kind of time. Yeah, by the way, you are forced to pick up Yang. Yang is a forced pick after, yeah. Just for people who were saying no. I'll see Philip come back and manifest ego. It would be such a cool way to justify it, because the entire point of Philip, Zhao, and Lulu are all different reflections of each other. They're all different looks of the same themes. Another interesting fact, out of every fight where a retreat occurs, as in where somebody runs away from battle, all bar one are in the burn track. The burn track is also the only story track that gets its own true monologues. Jaehyun in Warp Town, or the puppets, sorry, doesn't count. Because, yeah, they, like, you know, they're talking to W Corp. Yeah, no, burn track's so well written. I've also, after reading about it, I do have more, I probably should have read this. Hold on. I know what this one is. It's about talking about people who see inside the well. Hold on. Oh, the script. I don't know if I'm a raison d'etre without even noticing time by fire. Sometimes I have these thoughts. What if the script is part of a play that's missing its finale? Maybe you prepared a play that can never end just so you would tie me in this knot. If so, would it be appropriate for me to disobey your orders and attain my own free will for the first time? Do you think this dialogue was part of the script, or was it born my own free will? That's an interesting question, Angela. Looking at the headstones in this place, are you? It's only natural to find them a spectacle to see. There used to be times when I spent the whole day reading all the meaningless letters written there. These are also coffins, the death itself, and they represent the possibilities birth can bring at the same time. I've been guarding their coffins for countless years, carrying out consecrations for those who do not even have the privilege to depart for an afterlife. That is one of the few things I do here. You see, if one spends a long enough time in this graveyard, they can hear the whispers of the dead. The sound of their words is black as pitch. It makes me feel as if I was being filled with nebulous, murky water. You must be starting to get bored, seeing as your eyes are drifting about this place. It isn't often that I have guests here, and I feel bad to only show you these gravestones. Do you call me Lady Bina? This employee once had his boundary collapse. What's your name? It's Nathan. This man had the task of extracting ego. During extraction he carelessly peeked into the well, but by luck he survived. To maximize the price he had to pay for looking into the well, he was given the maximum dose of enkephalin, and so he could barely return to work. However, once one looks through the crack through the boundary, they can never return to the world they belonged to once before. Want to see something interesting? Nathan, can you describe what you saw to the manager? The scenery you witnessed your own eyes, but had to forget at all costs? From within the tombstones, inside them are those who sleep are sunken deep... No way, deep work. Those who are dreaming good dreams. At the same time, we call them the well in the speech of this place. We have to dredge them up and inject them with Kagito. Kagito. Number afterwards. What did you see? The man, he, that thing. Continue. The man, he, in the well. He passed out. Poor thing. Why did he pass out? These children cannot disobey me. Okay, Carmen. Even though he wasn't able to complete a sentence, the way he kept trying to speak until he passed out to show you he pushed himself to the limit to obey me. I've seen what that poor sap saw hundreds, no, thousands of times, maybe more. Are you right now? So you ask why I can retain enough sanity to have a friendly little conversation with you, until now. It's thanks to my mechanical body that can just barely grasp onto my mind. Yes, this strong, unbending back of mine. However, did you forget they originated from a human mind as well? If there's at least one thing that could be considered fortunate, it is as if I ever finally lose my sanity and run amok through the facility, attempting to bring this entire place down along with you. She'll be there to shut me off once more. But if that day truly were to come, I prefer that you terminated me with your own hands rather than her. It's the least you can do for a person as confined as I. Right, we do this again, and then we do 2 more over here. Yeah, what's this? Yeah, the script Angela talks about is a predetermined path. The prescript follows people into a certain path under certain conditions. The naming is prescript, as in the before script. The index is leading to the same script Angela is following. That's an interesting theory, but the entire point of the script is that A wrote it. It is A's script to make this see the light. Anyway, any more? No, I'm fine. But honestly, at this point I should cycle out people up top for people down below. Just so they actually stand a chance of working here without dying. But we don't need them for now. Okay, complete the day with at least one employee who has 4 or more gifts. That's you, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. I don't think the control team will need much help. No, you're not wrong. Honestly, it might be good to just like slot Delilah in there and chuck Freedom down here. Because these guys actually need to work with things. Yeah, you just don't want to wear those for too long. Right. We do it again! Not the right work style. Oh shit, here we go again. You know what I'd love to get set up for one day? I'd love to get, like, media sharing set up. I think media sharing would make for a really interesting stream. Although I'm not sure if I trust you lot with the ability to play videos on stream. I'd probably have to have, like, a moderator online at all times to make sure you guys don't post heinous things. What could possibly go wrong? I can think of quite a few things, actually. Surely nobody will put anything weird. Of course. Naturally. Why would anybody donate money to put a weird thing on stream? Yan Thigh-High's fan art? Is that a I shouldn't question that. Don't ask questions you don't want answers from, actually. Top 10 reasons why Archived is the best game. Is that a... Has anybody actually genuinely made a video saying Archived is a good game? Ask. No. I don't want to ask. As the Yan guy, yes. Okay, I'm taking your word from it and we don't need to talk about this anymore. Thank you, chat, for your contributions. That's it. Yes, it's a thing. Right. Okay. What are you doing? EGOless run? Yeah, it's going well. We're at day 36. Archived made me a terrorist? What on earth? Bunny made Yan. What? Also, Onion, you're really not beating the allegations there. What am I hearing? I don't know. I wish Archived never existed. So true. So true. Archived is an example of how not to make a game. Unironically, Archived is how you don't make a video game. Do you add your chat to the facility? I add members, yeah. Thanks for talking about attack, weight attack, and all the streams you night down right now in MD. Ah, great. I'm happy I could help. Archive reminded me that Woken is a decent game. Yeah, you're not wrong. I've killed my friend once, then framed me for it. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, in all, not seriousness, in all consolation, it probably did a shitty job of framing you. Hold on, what have I been pinged by? I'm terrified of this. Limbus spoilers. Right, okay. I thought somebody had DM'd me Yan art for a second there, I was getting worried. I don't know why I don't zoom in here. Wow, I really don't like Deep Woken, so if it's worse than that, it makes me sad. The map is awful, the dev is awful, the design is awful. It's so bad. The only reason people play it is because it's, you know, a Project Moon reference. Quietly closes DMs. Hold on, Onion, what do you mean? What do you mean? What if I don't explore the factory in fighting Huddley and Limbus? You just beat them to death. Nothing special happens, you just beat them to death. You lot. Stand out of the way for me. Okay. That is cute art of... Okay. That is cute art. Hold on. There we are. That's a good bit of Yan art. There we are. More like that, chat, not, Just think. Just think. If I can't show it on stream, should you really be sending it to me? This is a basic rule of thumb. If I could not show it on stream, it's not the kind of thing you need to send to me. Okay? Great. Sure, I never DM you anything even slightly suggestive? That's a... Why have you put the emphasis like that? That's worrying. Add that Yan to the stream. Okay. The bunny Yan will go on the stream.
5076 added $2.68 to the Lunacy Fund. Add that Yen to the stream. White ball.
Right. Okay. That is a massive Yan image. Whoa, hold on. Bunny Yan can go sit down with Freud. Bunny Yan and Freud will have a great time together, and they can talk about Yan's unresolved psychological issues. Why did you make it smaller? You're gonna have to donate a lot more than that to make me make an image that size. Come on. Put Bunny Yan on Freud's forehead. There's a way to do this. Hold on. It's like... How do I do this? Is it Alt? No. I know there's a way to crop images. That's not it. Hold on. OBS, how to crop images. Alt key. Is it? That's the Windows option. Let's not be clicking that. There we are. There we are. Bunny Yan is now sitting on their forehead. Why have I been sent a message request? Hello, Summer. That's... Okay, cool. Right. Terraria stream when? I could do a Terraria stream at some point. What is that?
That's CBT.
What is that a donation for, CBT?
Added $1.34.
Move it next to the Woke Angel? Okay, sorry for it. There we are. Bye-bye, Freud. Subway Surfers stream when? Oh god. The minute somebody makes a Project Moon Subway Surfers fan game. Sure. Okay. Subway Surfers on the side, but it's just Mirror Dungeon gameplay. So true. I can think of nothing I would rather do less than a Mirror Dungeon. Wedge Office again, actually. There are things I can think of that would be worse, actually. I take it back. There are distinctly things that would be worse to do. In case subspecials a redo of Wedge Office? No. Why is Sigmund Freud haunting you? I like money. That's why, thank you. Guys, why is he not responding to me? What is there to respond to? What do you want? Why have I been... Another tiny Yan art? Incredible. Why am I hearing... Oh, hold on. This Yan is so cute, it makes me want to work without looking. Doesn't quite work. There was a funny one which was... Never mind. It's this like XYZ is so cute it makes me want to merge without looking. Seen a few renditions of that. Wait, where are the clerks? Dead. Dead and gone because they were taking me 10 years to kill each time. We still get the bonuses for them. That's because the mod did that. Zeol has made a patch. And like, I could download it, but like this works well enough. Did you eat all of the clerks? Now that would be them. Shaking my fist at Freud. I'm a psych student. Yeah, I love how Freud's major contribution to the field is just that everybody hated him so much, we get all of modern day psychology. It's just everybody wanted to prove him wrong. I love that. Hatred truly is the best motivator. Do ordeals fight each other? Ordeals do fight each other, yes. Yes, they do. Yeah, no, depending on the one they do, yeah. Also, fun fact, Green Midnight can actually, attack its own faction. They do? They do. Certain ordeals fight each other. Just, it's the same thing as certain abnormalities fight each other and certain abnormalities don't. It's just the same sort of thing. Some ordeals also fight abnormalities. What part of the Stranger do you think we're heading to? I think it's the very end is the part we're entering, which is why I'm curious to see how they're going to handle it. Because the way it's written, it is like the ending already. The part where he's already like agreed to whatchamacallit. Nihilism. I can just pick this up and put it down, right? Yeah, great. Head 6 is one of the best written in my opinion, so it'd be cool to see. Yeah, I think it would be cool to see new inspiration taken. I think Canto 6 is the best all-round written Canto for sure. Oh, another fun fact for you, chat. Ordeals can actually enter these rooms. What? What happened? Hermes has messaged me. Hell no, I'm not reading up prescripts, Hermes. Canto 6 is the best, but Canto 8 is a personal favorite. I like Canto... I think Canto 8's part 2 is the best part, but Canto 6 is the best all-round written Canto. That's my opinion on it. see. Canto 9 was better? Wrong. Six used to be my favorite until 9 because I'm a finger fanboy. Let's not start saying that on the internet, actually, thank you. Bad joke. Very bad joke. Who's you? Why do I keep getting... Another Hermes ping. Right. Stop moving away from me. I hate this ordeal. It's just so annoying to fight. They just start jumping, like, to either side of you, and melee weapons can't hit because they're too slow. Which just means it takes years to kill. Even like in a normal run, they take a year and a half to kill because it just, yeah, never ends. For anybody worried, by the way, I am paying attention. Let's stop risking things and get everyone to the places. Amadorn do get hard counted by range weapons? Yeah, they do. That is something the Limbus Company got right. You funds left over for a Venus smug in the corner? Oh god. Salt. The visibility is already beginning to degrade. Are you sure you want to do that? Why is the ego weapon upgrading at 0 observations? What? Uh-huh. We need a Greg Tech New Horizons subathon? That would be really funny. That would be really funny. I do want to do a subathon at some point. But I think I need to get a little bit bigger first. I'm not sure if I'm actually, like, the right size channel for a subathon, really. As much as I do want to do one. It's risk unknown. What? It's not upgrading. Oh, why is the game lagging? That Bremen stream would have been a golden opportunity. Honestly, any of the solo challenges would have been a golden opportunity for a subathon. Sadly, I wasn't really big enough at the time either. Check my I have checked your DMs! You've not sent me anything new! You asked me to say hi to Summer. I said hi to Summer. I don't know what more you want from me. Like, unless I've gone blind, there's nothing more I can say. I didn't hear. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. What was up with that? I need to make sure the speed is set to 1 here. Lot my color fixes. No! No, Charlotte. Charlotte? I think. Charlotte? No? Yeah, no, Charlotte. I will not. I will not be doing that. Karmic consequence? Karmic consequence would require me to be a member of the index. I'm never going to be an index member. I found out the other day. Apparently neurotypical people don't, like, tap their knee. Like, you know, when you're bored, like, you tap your knee up and down. Like, I mean, I can't show it on camera, I would have to do, like, this. But, like, you know, you tap your leg. There's no way for me to do that without pointing it, like, at my floor, and I'm not doing that. Hello, nothing there. Yeah, like, I found that is something that apparently... Yeah, no, just something that, neurodivergent people do, which is strange. Sent you 7 DMs. I don't check DMs this often. I really don't. This is not becoming a habit. Did we get enough energy here? I think we get enough energy without having to work. Never mind, I already set it off. Doesn't really matter, we can just do this anyway. Can we ban this LARPer guy? What has he done? Make a ticket! This is the point of tickets. Talk to the staff team about it. I have staff to think about this thing for me, so I don't have to think about it, you know? When we stream the Ultracore Fraud update, I should at some point, to be honest. I really should. Right, there we are. Day complete. Lunar memory is a floor tour. That is madness. No. Yes. Oh, I was recalling the sound of your footsteps. Well, the cliches you sometimes made the results more exciting by acting in unexpected ways. Still, the endings were all the same, no matter how the process went. Do you want me to share some memories through a hologram? It's simply too good for me to watch alone. This here was you in a mess when there was no such thing as a cognition filter. I didn't know that a human's mental capacity could be so weak back then. You did alright the first couple times, but then one day... Well, at that time, it was a little funny. I'm sorry. You made it so far, but you weren't able to escape from that absolutely useless sense of guilt and hung yourself. Well, you were stopped immediately, though. Then, at this time, you were not fully prepared. That's when I started to realize it didn't matter if you were mentally whole or not. What mattered was that you needed to finish find realization about something to stop this endless cycle. Oh, at this time here, all of a sudden you began apologizing to me. That was... I didn't enjoy it. Are you starting to enjoy this? I would love to see more, but let's stop here for the day. You might see something you're not supposed to witness yet if we continued. Remember, Ian probably wrote that? Yeah, he did write the entirety of the script. Right. As you find them in quotidian life, fierce fights break out every day here. You've seen this innumerable times, no? With enough time, abnormalities come back to life, no matter how many fragments they're broken into. It's one of the facts that drove Gebra mad. She took far too much time to understand the abnormalities have to be exploited, not ended. Or maybe she simply couldn't free herself from the indignation of the past. Well, that doesn't concern me. The only thing I know is that I'll never ever see what she was before. Nevertheless, I cannot help but be astonished by the potential of ego each time I see her go on a rampage. So, extracting ego is one of my multitudes of duties. It's only natural that I'm drawn to its potential. In fact, there are many weapons that have enormous power in the world apart from ego. Artifacts from... Holy shit, artifacts actually do get mentioned! Huh! What do you know? Artifacts from the outskirts and from the ruins, the singularities of the wings, or rudimentary inventions made in the back streets. If used correctly, there would be weapons that could fare against abnormalities somehow. But giving those weapons to employees that never learned how to fight outside of basic training is as useless as teaching a hatchling to hunt. Do you have a plan for fighting Bina? I've never fought Bina myself, so no. No, I do not. The rabbits specialize in killing. They can spot the enemy's weaknesses right away and focus their firepower, given they have enough munitions. As opposed to our employees who cannot even wield weapons efficiently. That seeing as combat ability isn't a requirement to be hired here. But our employees don't even have to learn to use ego. The power of the ego grows in conjunction with the heart of the wielder. One knows how to use it the moment they wield it. Can I backseat? No! It's the first sentence! Don't backseat! The majority of employees can't control it. Swayed by it, they hardly have a chance against the abnormalities. I haven't seen anyone that can draw out the true potential, apart from the red mist. To wield the ego is to dress oneself in the shell of the ego of another person. The wielder is merely imitating the borrowed ego, unable to completely make the power its own. I can't... Oh, okay. I misread. Had I known that before being leapt here, I would have done anything to get my hands on them. If I could, the circumstances may have changed dramatically. Now I'm confined to issuing orders to extract ego, forbidden from touching them myself. You must have been scared still, even though my hatred and bloodthirst are still locked up inside this rusted metal cage. Don't you worry, I no longer have anything left. You never know, the yearning for blood could wax us once again, for it is simply sealed, not uprooted. Complete the day with 8 or more Aleph ego in possession. Well, about that. That means we need to get 8 Alephs. Oh, 4 Alephs. I don't want to get Aleph ego. Ego. Like, so, what can we pick up? This is Valve. This is that. We haven't even looked into you that much, huh? It's just wild that we got this, by the way. This is amazing. Does forced ego gear require? The only restraint was not using ego gear. There was nothing about acquiring it. How much do we have, by the way? Valve. None of you give me Aleph, right? It's all just more Valve. So we're gonna need to get more Alephs. Are we allowed to use ego? No! We're not allowed to use ego. Currently the only thing we have is this. Let's see, do we have 2 or do we have 1? We have 2. Okay, so we just need, one more. One more Aleph, and then we're good. Yeah. On that note, this will be the end of the stream. I will see you all tomorrow. If you did enjoy, please do consider joining the Discord. And yeah, I'll be seeing you. Bye for now.